It's time for the Savvy Realtor Podcast. I'm Walter Storholt alongside Angie Cole, the owner and broker in charge of A. Cole Realty, serving you throughout the Triangle, teaching you about the ins and outs when it comes to buying or selling a home. You can find the team online by going to acolerealty.com. That's A-C-O-L-E realty.com, or by calling 919-578-3128. That's 919-578-3128. And now it's time for one of the top realtors in the Triangle, Angie Cole, and the Savvy Realtor Podcast. This is the closing recap here on the Savvy Realtor. We like to celebrate each week one of the recent buyers or sellers that worked with Angie Cole and the A. Cole Realty team and reached a successful conclusion on buying or selling their home. And we discover some of the challenges and obstacles that they may be faced along the way and how Angie and her team helped overcome those. And it's just a fun time to celebrate here on the program each and every time. Angie, what's this week's featured couple or a single person, or who are we talking about this week?
So we got a couple.
Okay, nice.
So we have Edward and Meredith, who actually were connected with us or connected through one of our past clients. So thank you so much, Mike, for connecting us with Edward and then his wife, Meredith. So Edward and Meredith wanted to buy an investment property. So we quickly got them in touch with our buyer specialist, Alex Harder. Alex is amazing when it comes to working with investors and understanding that whole side of the real estate, business. And so they ended up going under contract and buying an investment property right off of Kaplan Drive, right near NC State. So great rental investment property that they ended up purchasing, and hopefully we'll hold on to it for a while, make them lots of money, and then we will be their go-to whenever it's time to sell their home. So thanks, Edward and Meredith, for trusting our team. They actually had a really quick process, meaning I think Alex took them out maybe once. Ended up, Alex has the eye for things, and he knows what to show them, and immediately went under contract, and then they were set to close in, less than 30 days. So congrats to Edward and Meredith on the purchase of your new investment property.
That's pretty cool, Angie. Do you see a lot more people these days, I guess, kind of, looking for investment properties? Has that become more or less popular these last few years?
So, we are bombarded with potential investors or investors who are just trying to get into our market, asking for us to help them. I think one thing that's important to note that, if you are looking to get into investment properties and you're coming into the Triangle, the Raleigh area to make a purchase, you are not going to get some fabulous steal on a home. That's just kind of being oblivious to our market conditions. So, there are some deals out there, but those are really far and few between. But you have to think about long term, right? So you need to think about, what you're buying now, the potential for appreciation, the return on investment that you'll get on it long term, and not just look for a quick fix, because if there are those opportunities out there, we would all be jumping in, and there's just not, right?
Yeah.
So, this is something that Edward and Meredith completely understood, that, let us go ahead and buy an investment property, build our portfolio, have, tenants move in to pay for our mortgage, so it's just an extra little income every single month coming in. But in the grand scheme of things, long term, it makes sense.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And I think if you are kind of wondering out there, I'm looking for a investment property, or if it is, I'm just looking for my forever home. Well, there's a reason that Angie and her team have amassed over 200 5-star Zillow.com agent reviews. If you go to Zillow.com and look up Angie Cole or A. Cole Realty, you're going to find those reviews. And the thing that I always find fascinating about those reviews, Angie, is that everybody's different. Everybody has, a different type of experience. Now, they're all good experiences, it seems, by the 5-star review ratings. But what I mean different is some are investors, some are single families, a single mom. Some are just a single person, buying a starter home. Others are couples. Some are investors and, want to buy a condo versus a home. And everybody's kind of coming at it from all of these different angles and experiences, but they all kind of reach that same successful conclusion, which is pretty cool to see.
Yeah, no, you're exactly right. We definitely work with, all types of people, all different situations, some that, are excited about selling, some that are unfortunately not excited about selling. Maybe they were forced to sell. We have, most time buyers are excited about buying, I would say, right? It's not normally a forced situation, but
True.
Yeah, all different, styles and types and, scenarios, which is really neat. And I love the situations where, we have helped someone who is maybe in their 50s and it's their first time buying a home. home. I love experiences like that. I actually met with a seller the other day who he's been in his home for a good 20 plus years, and he has never sold a home. That's the only home he's ever owned. And so meeting with him was like meeting with almost a first-time home buyer, or it is a first-time home seller. But you would think, because he's a tad bit older, that he's been down this road before, and he hasn't. So there's so many different situations that we deal with, but that's what makes our job fun. And we love that whole experience from start to finish. And what's most important is, like you said, in the end, though, we always have just ecstatic, super happy clients, no matter what their situation was, and what was the meaning behind them buying or selling a home.
Yeah, it's really neat. And if you want to talk to Angie about your situation, if you're looking to buy or sell a home in the near future, you can call or text Angie. 919-538-6477 is that number to call or text if you want to see what it's like to work with the A-Cole Realty team. 919-538-6477. Again, your number to call or text. Angie, you've got a new program that we actually rolled out on the show just last week, and you've already received some amazing response to this program. Tell us a little bit about the 29-day home sold guarantee that A-Cole Realty now offers.
Yeah, so exactly just what you said is a 29-day sale guarantee. If we do not get your home sold in 29 days, then A-Cole Realty, we will sell your home for free. So you would not be paying the marketing fee for us listing and selling your home. So we had, wonderful low, is what I would say, days on the market in 2019. We have a great trend of having lower than normal averages, and it's because of our amazing marketing plan. Everything that we do in order to get homes sold. And so, for example, in 2018, average days on the market for the Triangle was 23 days, and our team, we were at 11. And so we are happy to back that guarantee and say, if we cannot get your home sold in 29 days, we will then sell it for free. So if you are thinking about selling your home, you want to talk about that option of, selling your home potentially for free if we cannot get it sold, which I have confidence that I think we'll be able to make it happen. But, a 29-day sale guarantee. If we cannot get your home sold, we will then sell it for free. Just give me a call. My number is 919-538-6477. Of course, you can always text me as well. So once again, my number is 919-538-6477. If you are interested in selling your home and you want to hear more about our 29-day sale guarantee, just give me a ring.
If time is of the essence, this is a great opportunity to take advantage of the home sold guarantee. Your home sold in 29 days or less, or it's sold for free. Very easy to get in touch with Angie Cole and talk about that opportunity. 919-538-6477. Again, you can call or just shoot Angie a text, either way, and she'll be able to respond back to you and have that conversation with you as well. 919-538-6477 is the number to learn more about the home sold guarantee and buying and selling your home here in the Triangle, as always. More coming up on today's show. This is The Savvy Realtor with Angie Cole.
It's time for the mailbag. We want to hear from you.
Berta says, I'm trying to do tons of research before I choose a realtor to work with to sell my home and buy my next one. I have read lots of online reviews. I've tried to pay attention to which agents in the area have savvy marketing practices, and I've had 3 friends give me recommendations on agents they trust. But now I'm finding it actually hard to make a decision with all this information. Do you have any suggestions on how I can narrow this down to one and get off the pot?
I love get off the pot. Okay, so I personally think that if you do 3 interviews, that's plenty, okay? But it's very important to make sure that you compare their marketing, their pricing strategy, and then just overall personality fit. There might be 2 real estate agents that you feel like are the exact for the most part. They both gave you kind of the same price point. They had, comparables to justify that. Their marketing is in line with each other. But, it's really important to make sure that you feel like personality-wise, that person's a good fit for you. Because what I always say is once you start working with a real estate agent, you're married to them. You really are married to them from the initial conversation through closing. So make sure it's someone that you enjoy working with, because you want to make sure that it's a fun experience. You want to make sure that they're looking out for you and your best interest, but also it's an enjoyable process for you. But the big thing to me is really marketing. You'll be amazed if you go and you interview 2 or 3 agents and you ask them about their marketing plan, the difference between those marketing plans. I know our team here at HOA Realty, our marketing plan is stellar. I mean, every single time that I sit down with a seller, they are just like, wow. When I get done telling my marketing plan, I ask them, hey, what questions do you have? And they say, none. Like, you answered them all,
wow.
Right? But I feel like sellers oftentimes, they're unaware, they are kind of oblivious to understanding everything that a real estate agent should be, just because they haven't asked those questions. So make sure that you're digging deep and you're truly understanding a marketing plan. Also, make sure, Berta, that you do not go with the agent that just gives you the best price. Unfortunately, there are agents in our market that will just give you whatever number you want to hear so they can put a sign in your yard. You want to make sure that an agent is being honest with you and they are educating you on the values of your home in your market, because an agent that says, hey, I can sell your home at $200,000, but it's really only worth $175,000, that's an agent that you will just be mad at in the future and ticked off because they wasted your time. So make sure that there's justification behind the pricing and you have someone who's being honest and real with you.
It sounds to me, Berta, like you have certainly done some good research, and maybe you're finding the reason that you've done so much is because you're finding a couple that you did like. Maybe they all seem a bit equal. And so if they all start to seem a bit equal on the whole, it sounds like you're saying, Angie, now just focus on maybe the most important thing, and that's the marketing plan, and see who rises above, the other in that category.
Yep, 100% agree, because, there's some agents that will just stick it in MLS, they put a sign in the yard, and they pretty much pray and hope that it gets sold. But you need an agent that's going to do a lot more than just sticking your home in MLS. So make sure that you are digging deep and understanding the total marketing plan and what they will do to drive traffic to your home and get it sold.
Thanks for the question, Berta. By the way, if you're like Berta and you're thinking about selling your home in the near future, Angie and her team have put together a pretty cool resource that you can use. It's really, really easy to utilize to find out the potential selling price of your home. Find out the potential value of your home if you were to sell it in today's market. This is a really neat resource that you've put together, Angie, and it's all basically completed with a few clicks of the smartphone button, right?
Yeah, super, super simple. So if you're thinking about selling your home and you want to get an idea of the value of your home in today's market, you can just text the word listing to the phone number 555-888. So once again, if you are thinking about selling your home and you want to get an idea of what you could list your home for in today's market, just text the word listing to the phone number 555-888. Make sure, though, you do not stop there, because we will send you back a text. You need to click that link and input your address, so then we know your address and we can give you an idea of what you could sell your home for in today's market. So once again, on your smartphone, just text the word listing to the phone number 555-888.
That's all you have to do. Just text the word listing, LISTING. Put that in the message and send it to the number 555-888. We'll text you right back. You click on that link, put in your home's info, and just like that, you'll be able to find out that potential value of your home if it were to sell in today's market. Keep in mind, this is a really cool tool because it uses the local MLS data, not just the national data, to compare your home's pricing. So that's really important. You're going to get a more accurate estimate. But remember, it is an estimate, so it's just a kind of a beginning part of the process here to make sure that you are kind of thinking about selling your home at the right price point. Is it in line with sort of your initial expectations? It's a good way to start your fact-finding mission. Just text the word listing to the number 555-888. Angie, we've got another question here from Emily. Emily is in Holly Springs and says, I'm not really a fan of HOAs, homeowners associations, I believe she's referring to. I don't want the same mailbox as everybody else, and if I want to put up a fence or display something in my yard, I don't want to be restricted by some ridiculous rules. I guess I'm only seeing the negative of HOAs, however. Am I missing out on some great homes?
Emily, I would say yes. You are 100% missing out on some wonderful homes that are in our market. You need to remember that I would say, and I feel like I'm on the low end, I don't know this number, but at least 75% of homes in the Triangle area are probably managed by an HOA. And remember, though, HOAs are not always, just super, super strict. Every HOA and covenants and declarations, there's different rules within each. Some are super minimal. Some, for example, just say, hey, we need you to pay $5 per month to help us maintain our common area. Beyond that, there are no restrictions. Maybe there's restrictions as far as what could be built in the neighborhood. Maybe they only allow single-family homes at a minimum of 1,500 square feet. But there's no other restrictions. Now, on the flip side, there are some neighborhoods where they must have the exact same mailbox. They tell you, how long you can leave out your garbage cans. They tell you you cannot park a work vehicle in the driveway for more than 24 hours. So there are some HOAs that are above and beyond as far as particular. But there are a lot of neighborhoods that are still very lenient, even though there is an HOA managing. And I want you to remember, Emily, that an HOA is not there to dictate or to, just drive you up the wall and drive you crazy to where you feel like you don't have any control over your own home that you own. But it's to keep up the values in your neighborhood. The last thing that you want is to have a home, and right beside you, your neighbor has an overgrown lawn. They've painted their home Pepto-Bismol pink. There's just, 5 different work cars sitting in their driveway, because what will happen there is it's going to devalue the price of your home. And so once again, an HOA is there to protect you and protect the values within the neighborhood. I wouldn't look at it necessarily as a negative, but you know what? If you do not want to be in a neighborhood where there's an HOA, I would say you probably, for the most part, can't even be in a subdivision or a neighborhood. Once again, most of them do have some type of governing HOA. I can't get that word out, especially within like the city area. So you definitely need to go on the outskirts to find a neighborhood without an HOA.
It's a really good question, though, Emily. Thank you for submitting that one. A lot of people have different opinions about HOAs and what you're allowed and what you aren't allowed to do there. So just kind of see how it fits into your personal preferences, which sounds like you don't want to be restricted that way. Just know that your neighbors also won't be restricted in those ways, too.
Yeah.
So just remember that. Good question, Emily. Let's get one here from Stone. Stone in Wake Forest, awesome name, says, what is there to know about buying a home as is? I'm looking at one online that doesn't look bad from the pictures, but it comes with this warning in the description, sold as is. What am I missing?
So, first of all, Walter, you just said you love the name, and I was about to say that as well. Love the name Stone.
I actually, I played hockey with a kid back in, many years ago when we were kids, and his name was Stonewall. And it was just like, what an amazing name for a hockey goalie, Stonewall.
Yeah. I mean, that's just like beast mode, right?
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Okay, so Stone, so your question about sold as is. First of all, remember that the way that the North Carolina offer to purchase reads is that all homes are actually sold as is in their current state and condition, which I think is very surprising to people because there is the understanding that both parties will be reasonable when it comes to due diligence period. You're already under contract. During due diligence, buyers typically will do their investigations. They probably order home inspection, pest, termite, maybe well, septic. And typically then from there, buyer and seller negotiate as far as the items the seller is willing to fix or give monies in lieu of repairs. But it's not a requirement. But I do enjoy when real estate agents will make it clear from the get-go if the seller is or is not willing to do any type of repair. So when you see a listing that states sold as is, that is indeed stating that the seller is not going to negotiate any repairs. You have the option, of course, to always do your investigations and get inspections done. But the seller's making it clear that, I'm not going to be nickeled and dimed on, repair items. The price is what the price is, whatever that agreement is, and it's up to you if you want to move forward. So just understand that when you're looking at homes that are being sold as is, there might be some surprises along the way once you dig deep and you do your inspections, but it's still up to the buyer to decide if they want to move forward and go to closing. They just more than likely probably have, some monetary value at risk at that moment agreement as far as if they do decide to back out. Now, another key point, though, even though a home is sold as is, doesn't mean that a seller won't do any type of repairs. I've had some situations that it was unknown to the seller that, for example, their HVAC completely went kerplunk, it died. And in order for them to go and relist and sell, of course, that's a material fact that needs to now be disclosed, and they probably won't get that home sold to the next buyer unless they do a major price reduction. So I have still negotiated repair items when a home is being sold as is, but it's just understood stone again. Home is indeed being sold as is. Seller is not going to do any repairs. So, Stone, it sounds like you are thinking about buying a home, and we would love to share with you the steps of buying a home from start to finish. And so we can pass along what's called our home buying process and our contract guide. So if you are thinking about buying a home and you want to get the steps from start to finish, we would love to share with you our home buying guide. And so you can text the word contract to the phone number 555-888. So once again, just text the word contract to the phone number 555-888 to get a copy of our home buying guide.
That's all you have to do, and it's a very useful guide to make sure you understand those different steps of the process. I remember even, about 6 years between the purchase of our first home and then the purchase of our second home. We'd forgotten a lot of, what it was all about, the steps of the process. It starts to blur together after a while. So whether you're a first-time home buyer or you've been through it before, but it's been a while, good to get a refresher of the different steps in the process when buying a home. If you want to get that home buying guide that Angie Cole and the team at A. Cole Realty have put together for you, you can get that by texting the word contract to the number 555-888. Again, just text contract to the number 555-888. Tabby in Nightdale says, I'm having trouble selling my home and am paying 2 mortgages right now, so I need to rent out my old house to stop the bleeding, so to speak. Will having a renter in the home make it tougher to sell?
Tabby, most of the time, yes, having a renter or a tenant in the home can make it more difficult. Not all the time, but most of the time, yes, I have seen it's been more difficult. Reason being is I oftentimes see that tenants do not keep the home as clean and tidy as an owner would. They also are really dictating when they allow showings. We actually have one on the market right now where the tenant, unfortunately, has been declining probably 80 to 90% of the showings that are being requested. So, it can really be, tough when it comes to having the home tenant occupied and trying to get it sold. Also, depending on whenever the lease is expiring, say it's several months out as far as when the lease expires. Reminder that it's a requirement for that lease agreement to extend on through. Even if you sell your home to a new owner, they must fulfill that lease agreement. So at that point, you're only marketing to investors, right? So we really cut down the potential buyer pool there. So, is it tougher to get a home sold when it's tenant occupied? It is, but, on the flip side, some homes are for investment purposes. So actually having it tenant occupied could be a plus to an investor, right? Because they don't have to worry about filling, the need. So if you're thinking about selling, let's talk through that. I actually just had an over-the-phone conversation with an investor in our area who had her home tenant occupied. She's not local and she wants to go ahead and sell it over in Morrisville. And we had that discussion of, in order for me to give some feedback on whether or not you should put your home on the market with it being tenant occupied, I really need to do a quick walkthrough. So I know, all right, what's the current condition of the home? Are the tenants going to be flexible with showings? And then I can give you feedback on whether or not I think that scenario would work. But if it doesn't work, what I would suggest doing is, we can line up for your home to go live and on the market within, a week of after the tenant moves out. We can run with it. And remember, we also have our 29-day sale guarantee that will protect you as well. I understand paying 2 mortgages is tough. So once again, if we do not get your home sold in 29 days, we will then sell it for free for you. So you don't have to worry about those additional costs that you potentially could risk with your home sitting on the market for a long time.
You've been listening to the Savvy Realtor podcast. I'm Walter Storholt alongside Angie Cole. She's the owner and broker in charge of A. Cole Realty here in the Triangle. And if you have questions for Angie, we invite you to go online to acolerealty.com. Listen to past podcast episodes on the website, read the blog, and all the great information, including the option to find a home right there on the website. That's acolerealty.com. And you can also call Angie with your questions, 919-578-3128.